Hey there, what do you say there, world? Welcome to the Races Recap Survivor Edition. We are here with our new co-host for the season, Mama C. What's up?
Hello there. How are you? I'm so glad to be on this show with you.
Oh, I'm so excited. I get to talk Survivor, hanging out with Mama C, having a good time. I got a bunch of previous survivors who want a guest host, so I figure every week we'll bring on a guest host, but this week it's all about me and you breaking down episodes 1 and 2. I think we're going to have a good time with this one.
Oh, my God. Yep. Great start to a season.
Yeah. I figure every season from now on is going to be on Fiji. They're just going to give it a cool name like Ghost Island.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the plan. I mean, you don't really see much except for the beach and the water, so why not?
Yeah, it really didn't make that big of a difference,
No.
except like, monsoon seasons and trying to time all that stuff. But from a production standpoint, who cares? I got the official Amazing Race buff. It was only out for 1 year.
Wow.
Limited edition Amazing Race buff.
Nice.
So I'm ready for the season.
I don't have my buffs. I feel naked without my buff.
That's okay. I'm letting you know you can step your game up.
And you have is that an Amazing Race jacket?
This is why I wore this on the Amazing Race, but this I figure would be my Survivor shirt because it's like that Jeff Probst material, dries really quick, it's warm.
Yeah.
So this would be like the outfit that I would wear. Like if they dropped me on the island, I'd probably have this shirt on with the buff and be going like this.
And go. All right.
In the trees. So I figure if this is how it's going to look, this is how it's going to look. All my friends are here joining us. It's good to see you guys. If you want a thumbs up, like, subscribe, send your friends, tell your friends. All right, cool. All right. So let's talk. Jeff tells everybody this year is going to be a chance to reverse all bad previous decisions, and everything in this game is going to come down to making the right decisions at the right time. What the hell are people thinking when they first step off that boat?
Well, first of all, you are so excited. You're thinking, oh, my God, is this real? Am I really seeing Jeff Probst across from me? So that is pretty exciting.
Yeah, because most of them are super fans, so you get that little shock.
They're all super fans. On this season, they're all super fans because everyone on the season has to kind of understand what those, skeletons in the closet are all about.
Yep.
So, yeah, they're all super fans.
So it plays a nice little role to see how many people get starstruck, and we immediately see that Seth Rogen's son is going to be starstruck for the whole episode. Jacob is really just.
I love Jacob, but oh my God, does he have to? I guess we'll get into that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of Jacob tonight.
Baby doll, we need to talk.
All right, so the Orange Malolo tribe, they talk and they got to pick a team captain. Boom, they talk it out, grab one. But then, like the Navidi tribe, they just immediately go Chris. No thought process. He's good looking. He's hunky, I guess. Go.
Yeah, I think they were going for muscles. They didn't know what they were going for, but they went for muscles.
Is there any advantage to getting picked, or do you just try to avoid being picked for these first tasks?
There's really no advantage for getting picked.
Yeah,
because A, you have no idea what you're getting picked for, and B, if it doesn't go well, guess who's going to get screwed?
Right. So I figured, just as my mindset, I wouldn't want anything to do with any of these tasks right now. I'd let everybody go ahead, go play their hand. Let me see what you got. And I'd like to sit back and analyze. I don't know if I'd be able to, but that's the strategy I'd like to have going in.
Yeah, I think that's a good strategy. I think that, like even on my season when we had to pick, who was going to be chosen to select what we know now, but we didn't know then. Yeah, I was like, not ooh. But it is funny because after Joaquin was picked, in my mind, I was saying to myself, should I have been picked? Come on, you're a leader. You're a wuss. What is the matter with you? I'm literally having this conversation with myself in my mind.
Well, I get that.
What are you doing? Don't do it. Do it. No, do it.
The natural leader in you wants to step up and say, hey, I'm a leader. But then like the smart gamesmanship in you, it's like, hey, you don't want to be the leader right now, no matter how much of a leader you are inside.
Settle down, sister.
Settle down. You can't lead a team if you don't know their qualities. So let everybody show their qualities, and then you step up.
You don't even know their names, let alone their qualities.
Exactly.
You're like, yo, you dude in the blue.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened here. They had to, the captains had to pick somebody right now to do a physical, and then somebody to do a puzzle, and it seems like they didn't pick the right people, and it didn't pay off in the end. So the physical portion plays out as you get Sebastian. So for this, every task that we see on the Amazing on this, I hope I don't keep doing this all season. Every task we see on Survivor has now come down to like a little bit of endurance, a little bit of teamwork, maybe a little skill, and then a puzzle at the end.
It all comes down to the puzzle. Every single challenge is always about the puzzle. So it's like, brush up, baby. Come on. Bring it.
Guy in the Amazing Race buff. What's your name? I'm Justin. How you doing?
He's the host, buddy. He's the host.
Hey, we're co-hosts. This is our show. We're going to have some fun this year. All right, so Michael gets Laurel, Navati, Sebastian, and Desiree, and then you got Morgan in the back. Now, she was kind of somebody that was just way too obvious about, like, ducking and hiding and trying not to get picked. But, I mean, you're never going to pick somebody who's ducking. But
never.
Is that something bad, though, to make a huge move and duck like that, and people are like, uh-oh, we don't want her on the team? Or is it?
Yeah, I don't think it's fabulous, because you're there to play, and you need to, like, step it up in every challenge. And if you're, like, dodging this and dodging that, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that as a little bit of a, like, I don't know if I'd want her on the team, but it's not somebody I'd want to kick off because it doesn't look like she's going to be playing hard. So It's kind of like, she could just stay off to the side.
But do you really want to fess up that you don't know how to do puzzles, like on day 1, 5 minutes in?
I don't want to fess up anything. I don't want to give up any information. I just want to soak up information. That's what I want to do.
Exactly.
All right, so Survivor tasks. They got the obstacle course. You got to dig for 3 keys, a little puzzle, and then some slide puzzles. It's so preparing for a Survivor. The number one thing you should do is balance and puzzles. Is that it? Like, kind of balance, practice balancing while doing puzzles.
Good. Puzzles is always good. Endurance, like that challenge. They thought, you saw how fast they came out, like the first go round.
Oh yeah, Michael and Sebastian. They're like,
yeah. I thought they were like, wow, these guys came to play. By the third time, they were literally barely capable of walking into that maze thing.
And I'm like, you're 18 years old. You're like in your prime, and you got all these muscles, and you can't even make it there. And the little skinny guy beats you.
It's because nobody realizes, well, you probably do because you've done challenges similar, but it's 115 degrees out probably.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's the first day, but they still haven't really had a fabulous meal.
Right. So
or a lot of water, so they're already beginning their depletion of,
All right. So can you, how do people pick what the hell they're wearing on this first episode? Is this like, hey, just show up for picture day and we're going to take pictures and then they magically ship you off? Is that it? Like,
I mean,
or do they just say, like, this is your theme, this is what you're wearing?
I mean, it usually links back to what the person is all about, right? Like, so on my season, the concept was white collar, blue collar, no collar.
Right.
So I'm clearly a white collar. So I wore white collar clothes.
Gotcha.
Right? So things that I would, typically be linked to.
Right.
This season, I mean, I feel like nobody's in a dress or anything, right? I didn't
see anything too crazy like in the past when people have been in
I thought it was more workouty, comfort. But like Stephanie is in yoga pants because she's a yoga instructor.
Makes sense.
And everyone's giving her a hard time about those pants. Yo, girl, I love them. Wear them with pride, girlfriend. Yes.
All right. So is there this first task, you get your obstacle course. Now the reward, you get rice, not as much as in the past, but you get fishing gear, which if you get fish, you don't need rice as much, and
Right.
you get shelter building. So the two of the biggest things right off the bat, shelter and food, could be taken care of with this first task. Am I overplaying it when I say this is such a huge challenge, or in the
No,
long
you
run
are
it doesn't
not
matter?
overplaying. That is an amazing reward. We had to wait 6 days to even attempt winning fishing gear.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you're stuck with rice and whatever you can find on the island.
Well, on my tribe, we couldn't make fire for 4 days, so we were stuck with nothing.
Trying to chew on hard rice, crunchy rice.
We were starving, like
I-
literally.
oh man, that's got to be the worst. All right. Now, so it is a huge advantage, and I think when these tasks happen, you have to put the best people forward. But again, you don't know
You don't even know
anybody,
who
and
they are
nobody
yet.
wants to put the best people are probably not going to volunteer for these because they want to sit back. So it's really hard to pick, especially for such a huge task like this. It's interesting to see how it played out.
Yeah.
But I liked watching everybody's adrenaline overtake them, and everybody was just overwhelmed. What do you think about this guy, Michael, who's lied? He's 18 years old. He lied and said he's 23. Do you think there's an advantage to being young or a disadvantage to being young?
I think people in their mind have a, like, you don't know nothing mindset. You're 18, it's kind of the same thing as being the geezer on there, right? So, like, I was the geezer. If you're either the youngest or the oldest, it's, you're not in the norm. So you got to figure out how to fit in.
So it's just smart for him to lie a little bit and say, "Hey, I'm 23 rather than 18."
Yeah.
All right. So pressure's on for everybody as the captains picking the people. They could play it off and say, "Hey, I didn't have much to choose from," so they can kind of pawn it off on the people who fail in this part of the task. Now, what do you like? What do you think about this first big twist where you were able to forfeit somebody's chance to finish it and take a little bit of a prize, but give the big prize to the other team? You like this twist, or do you?
It was like a gift.
It seemed like it.
Forfeit. Yes, you forfeit. First of all, nobody was finishing in a minute. They didn't have a shot in hell. When you look down at what they had accomplished so far, it's a no-brainer. You pull the thing and you take what you take. You give up. At least you got something. Why walk away with nothing?
But you're giving them amazing shelters by pulling that. You're forfeiting that shelter. That's the trade-off.
Yeah.
You don't care. Just like, give me that fishing gear and rice. I'm taking it regardless.
I'm taking it.
All right.
They literally had seconds left to make that decision.
So he did wait till the last possible second and saw that it was going to be tough for both people.
Like, I don't know. We're not winning. They're not winning. But then if they don't pull it, we don't win, and then we lose everything. It's not worth it.
And then you see how Brendan was giving advice while Chris was just standing there. I see it's different on the Amazing Race. Like when one person's doing a task, you're not really allowed to help. On this one, so I didn't really pick up on it. And then I watched. I'm like, okay, his partner's helping, and his partner's just sitting there doing nothing. Is this the type of task that you appreciate the help, or is it just like, shut up and leave me alone?
That's so individual.
Gotcha.
Because people either love slide puzzles or hate slide puzzles.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Our season had one. It sucked.
You're like, damn, I got this. And if you don't know how to do them, it looks Chinese. Like it's another like you can't even figure it out. So
I wish James Earl was here. He was amazing at the slide puzzle in our season, and we weren't as good. So slide puzzles, that if it is your thing, you're right. You're just like, ooh, and if it's not, you're like, I just want to leave. Tag out.
Yeah.
All right. So Navati ends up forfeiting, and the Malolo takes the win. And Dominic says, "You know what, Jeff? I'm a truth teller." Jeff asks, "Hey, would anybody do anything different if given a task?" And of course, Dominic is like, "Hey, look at me. You guys want somebody to vote out first? Right here." I was just like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
I can say this because I'm a New Yorker, but damn New Yorker.
It's like, come on, man. It's not the time to be like, hey, right here, but look at me. Right at the end of the task when you're feeling crappy, it's not a good spot. It's not a good
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah, I would have picked somebody different. Based on what? Like,
Yeah.
what do you pick? What are you basing it on? We don't know yet. Come on.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick it. I do construction. Dominic from New York. I'm in the union. You know what that means. Hmm? I know somebody who knows somebody.
Who knows somebody?
What do you need? What do you need? Just tell me what you need.
Listen.
All right, I definitely wouldn't have said anything.
Wasn't he the one who said Fugazi?
Yeah, he's all about the fugazi. It's a fugazi.
So I was actually, what? You damn Fugazi.
I loved it. He's like, I'll give it to him. What do I care? It's a fugazi.
I literally like wet my pants because I was watching the premiere with Rodney.
Uh-oh.
And he used the same exact term on my season. Like, look at these Fugazi broads. And he was talking about me and Sierra.
Fugazi broads. Oh, my God. Now we get to one of the players who you love him or you hate him immediately. Donathan steps onto the scene, and Survivor is never the same. As soon as he talks, subtitles across the screen from now until eternity. How many players have gotten subtitles every time they've talked? I mean, come on.
That was classic. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I love the guy, but I was literally crying. That was hilarious.
Oh, he was so good too, and I loved his mindset. He's like, I just want to meet different people from different cultures because where I am, everybody's the same, and he's really looking forward to it. And I love that open mindset. But he just looked like a deer in headlights for the rest of the episode. He's like, and we'll get to him. There's like a love-hate moment where people either really love this guy or really hate this guy, and it's because the same reason. So
yeah.
It's going to be interesting. So he's from Eastern Kentucky, so he's got a nice little accent, and he gets little subtitles as you go along.
That's right. I mean, we probably get subtitles too.
Yeah, they just changed a couple of the slang words to make them more universal. So Sebastian's a fisherman. I immediately thought of like Under the Sea with Under the Sea, but everybody else was thinking sea bass, which seems to make a lot of sense. But he didn't seem to like that as much.
No,
but
he didn't like it.
If you don't like a nickname and somebody knows it, that they're gonna make it stick even more. So I wouldn't.
Exactly. So you should have just let it go.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, I got you. Sea bass.
Yeah, sea bass. Yay, sea bass. All right, cool. Like Dumb and Dumber.
I mean, I kind of think it's a cute little nickname. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it fits. I mean, it works. It definitely makes him memorable for me. I don't remember the whole cast right now, but I definitely remember him because of it.
Right.
And Dominic over here talking about stuff. He's like, hey, this over here, I get fat just looking at this. I lost 270 pounds. He just couldn't wait to tell this story. I love that he told the story, but it was like he just forced it on this moment. Like, oh, I'm hungry. Hey, I lost 270 pounds. But I think it was perfect timing. I think it was perfect timing because he needed to do something to counter that little jerk moment that he had previously, and it seemed to work out well for him.
Yeah. No, I liked it.
Did you have strategies going in about, hey, I'm going to have like certain stories that I'm going to tell that is really going to bond me to certain people, or I'm not going to talk about my family to everybody but certain people? Did you have like a social strategy going in?
I mean, I didn't really have like a set strategy in terms of I'm going to tell this story, I'm going to tell that story.
Right.
That's very like contrived. I just go out there, you meet people, and you go.
Okay.
And, I think I'm the same. Like if I saw, somebody down the street, I'd be the same. You know what I mean? So,
gotcha.
No, I didn't. But many people do. So I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. Who knows?
No, there is no right and wrong way, but you've played, so I definitely have to ask. I mean, I have my own strategy, and I never know how it's going to work because obviously.
What would you do?
I mean, I have certain stories that I know when I tell people, it really makes them more. It makes me more endearing to them, but it's also stuff that's really close to me. So if people know that stuff, it's like they can use it against me, but it's a real moment. So if I choose to share those stories with certain people, then I feel like that's like a really cool bonding moment because I don't share that with people who are outside of my circle. So I would expect that to help bond me to somebody else.
Right.
But again, like people you look at me one way, but during my season, I never lied. I never broke my word. I kept my word to everybody, regardless of what they thought. And nobody realized that until after the season was over and they went back and watched. So how you're perceived is something that is really hard to control.
It's true. So are you saying that on your season, people perceived that you were lying?
Yeah, they thought I'd be lying and manipulative, and when I got to U-turn boards, I'd just be U-turning people. And even though I said we're not going to do that, and they didn't believe it until after I passed 2 U-turn boards and didn't U-turn anybody. So
right,
I had to see it in action to believe it.
Yep.
So there's something that I try to be aware of is this little gamesmanship. Now Sebastian is buddy here with Chris doing a little Florida boy thing. Do like muscle bound hottie guy connections ever work out? They seem to be like the biggest targets whenever they team up with each other.
Well, yeah, because now you got 2, the bromance factor is a problem if any 2 is a problem.
Right. So I just didn't know if because you look at 2 like strong people, you're like, well, there's definitely I'd rather have like the guy and the girl go to the merge than have 2 strong guys who can win all the time go and then. So I don't know. There's so many different mindsets to have in this game, but then again, it hasn't been like beefy, strong guys winning all the time. It's the ones who are smart and sneaky and make the right moves at the right time, and that's what this season's all about. So I'm really looking forward to it. I have it written down now. It's either going to be one of the best seasons ever or one of the worst seasons ever. I don't think it's going to be anywhere in between.
Well, I'm going with the best. Besides mine, of course. But,
right. Go in the top, top 10, bottom 10.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be good because it's interesting to see, everyone can play from their couch.
Right.
And it's like, oh my God, why'd they do that? How could they have done that? And then you get out there and you're like, you're just living it. So
yeah, it's so hard.
So hard.
All right, so let's get to Jacob. His first appearance really on screen, and he loses his shoes. Hey, guys, look, I lost my shoes. Is it endearing, or is this already like, please just leave me alone? We're getting rid of this guy who doesn't fit with us.
Okay, well, I mean, raise your hand if you've ever been to the beach.
True. We've all been there. Okay.
Does anyone know what happens with the water?
I think we all do. I mean, you've been to the Jersey Shores one too many times. You don't put your shoes there. If you.
Oh my God! Let me put my suitcase here and see what happens.
So it seems contrived to me. That's what I thought it was going to be like. I'm going to lose my shoes, and I'm going to be like this endearing guy to everybody.
I don't think so.
He's just dingy.
I don't, because nobody wants to lose anything. You don't have anything.
Okay.
So, like, when you lose one thing. That's drama. Like when I put my socks next to the fire and I burnt a hole in one whole sock. So instead of having a sock that actually covers your toes, I had a sock with a little flap and your toes went inside, right? So it's totally open. And that was annoying, so I had to compete with that kind of thing. When you lose your shoes and now you only have one set of shoes and they're wet half the time, that's disaster.
Oh, well, I think it just gets worse from here as he comes back and he's like, talking about the idol, and then he stops and he's like, you know what? I'm going to go exploring.
Yeah. Very subtle. Very subtle.
Captain Obvious. And then when he comes back, he's like, all right, I'll take over the fire. And then they said, yeah, we're going to go yam hunting. I'm like, oh my God, you are just so oblivious to the world around you, and you either love him for it or hate him for it. And there's so many of these moments coming up.
His social game is not his strength.
No, self-awareness is definitely not his strength, but he's great. He's got a great following on Twitter. A lot of people were tagging Seth Rogen as his dad. So
God,
I don't know.
Like twins.
Yeah, so maybe that could lead to some Saturday Night Live like meetup somewhere. Yeah. You never know. It could lead to a cool viral video. So go with it.
Go with it, baby.
That's
go
son.
with it. Take it and run.
That's son Jacob. All right, now Jacob pours the rice into his dirty ass sock and looking for a clue. I like that he's using his smarts to try to find his clue, but I hate that he's nasty pig.
Yeah. It's funny because when I saw him do that, I was like, "Oh my God, that's disgusting." And then we're talking about it because we had a premiere party, so we're talking about it, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll eat it after that." I mean, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, at that point, when you're on the island, you're hungry. It's just it's gonna boil out. That's what Diana said.
I
You're gonna
think,
put it in boiling water. It'll be fine.
yeah, I think on my season, I licked peanut butter off of Shireen. So,
Slowly.
damn.
All right,
So,
we'll get to those at the end of the show when the kids go to bed. No.
Mama C, this is a PG show. What's
Mama
the
C
matter
is
with you?
gonna reenact the scenes later in the show.
No,
No.
she had peanut butter, and I didn't have any, obviously. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get some of that. Anyway, so yeah, we were like, we'll still eat it, but that was gross.
All right, I'm going to run through some things. If anything pops out and you want to comment on it, go for it. If not, we could just move right along. I love Wendell. I love the fact that he can make furniture. I think he's going to make some cool stuff, especially since he's teamed up with the construction guy. Looking
Right.
forward to seeing what they got. This little fish trap. I'm
Right.
hoping it works.
That was amazing. I'm not gonna lie, because we won a fish trap, crab trap, and we didn't catch one crab. Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes.
All right, so the second challenge is an immunity challenge, a little obstacle course, another cube puzzle, another endurance, very little skill puzzle challenge. Jeff reveals the losing team is going to send someone off to Ghost Island. We have one team that clearly works together and it takes a huge advantage. Another team sees that team working together, doesn't take their strategy, and just falls behind. And then when we get to the great part, Jacob comes to the end of this challenge. As you can see, that working together, 1, 2, 3, pull, made the huge advantage, and it gave them an advantage, and they won. And then at the end, Jacob is talking strong because he has this strategy of, I want them to pick me to go to Ghost Island. And it looks like they fell into his trap. Now, do you think they fell into his trap, or do you think he's just still delusional?
I think they did not fall into his trap. I thought they had every intention of sending him.
Yeah, I do too. But I love that he played it like they fell into my trap.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was like, damn, am I smart? I got this.
This poor guy, man. The self-awareness is he needs to hang out with Gary Vaynerchuk for a week. He'll be excellent. All right.
There you go.
There you go. So Ghost Island has all these original idols and snuffers and relics. What did you think of Ghost Island, and what do you think of this twist as a whole?
I love it. I think it's amazing. I think the concept is really great. And I love to see, because everyone, as I said, you can play as a couch watcher, and now when you get there and you have this advantage, let's see what you're gonna do with it.
Let's see how you're gonna waste it.
Are you gonna waste it, or are you gonna take that
and change the whole game? Like, one thing can change the whole Survivor game, and another way you could just use it and waste it. So it's all about doing the right things at the right time. So Jacob smashed
$1 million decision. Potentially.
Yeah. They have all these urns that are lined up, and Jacob has smashed it, and he follows the clue, and he wins this immunity idol. And a lot of people are asking if you had to smash them in order, and that has been confirmed that you have to smash them in order.
Right.
So there is a set, so producers know what's coming and know how they could play. Right. And it makes sense because certain idols work better later in the game than they do earlier in the game.
Exactly.
So he gets the legacy idol from Game Changers.
From my girl Sierra.
So he'll give it to another person on another tribe where they have to use it when it comes down to 13 or 6. Do you think that's a huge? I think it's kind of like.
Well, it was a little bit different because Sierra had the opportunity to hold on to it and use it either at 13 or 6, right? But if she's not. She can will it to somebody,
right?
Like if she if you get taken out of the game, you have to will it to somebody.
Right. So he immediately had to do it.
He immediately had to do it. So it kind of wasn't really an advantage for him at all. It didn't help his game.
It definitely didn't help his game. And even later, if they finally merge and they get a chance to hang out with each other, it may be too late. That person may have no trust in you anyway, may already have alliances. I mean,
it'll definitely help come the merge when they're together.
It's not going to help the person who found it. It's just going to help the person who got it.
Right.
So it kind of stinks. So, all right, the Malolo tribe is looking at voting out either Donathan or Gonzalez. Donathan because he's a weaker player, Gonzalez because she's seen as a threat. And Stephanie said because Donathan is tiny and he may be good if we need to stick someone in small places. Like, what the... Like, I'm just trying to think of any challenge.
One of my favorite lines.
I was just trying to think of a challenge in the past where, like, being tiny, like maybe Ty. Did we stick Ty in something? And
okay, so I think like in
like, I want to have someone tiny so we can stick them in something.
Fans versus favorites.
Okay, come on, bring it on, Mama.
Okay, all right, watch this. I mean, these fans are gonna be like, "Damn, she knows that." No, I'm just watching it now, so that's why it's top of mind.
Get it.
They were, they had a platform, and it was like a round circle on top of a stick, and you had to go from this platform to this platform. So basically, you're going to take the smallest, leanest person who can balance and put them on this platform and then move them from this place to this place. Right?
Okay, so
you want someone lean and mean.
Okay, so there you go. So having someone little tiny, it could be an advantage later in the game, and that's going to determine whether we're getting rid of Gonzalez, who seems like she could be a huge advantageous. She's a girl who's not afraid to be out in the jungle, grew up in Puerto Rico. She's tough, and she talks a little too tough, and I think that's going to come back to bite her in a second, because we get to Tribal Council, and like Gonzalez starts talking, and the more she talks, the more people are like, this is going to be an easy vote. I mean, she's like, Jacob, she calls Jacob special.
Oh my God, that was horrible.
Yeah, it's like, all right, I mean, come on. He's special as in, like, he's a super fan and he knows the game better than a lot of people, but he's not special as in, like, you better not.
Right.
So I'm glad it didn't get too blown up on Twitter. I was trying to follow that, and I was like, please don't take it there. Donathan feels like a target because he's weak, but I think he's built a lot of relationships with people early on in the game, and I think that really helps to save him. Yeah.
He's genuine.
I think you could tell that, and I think people want to take somebody like that with them because they know they can trust him.
Yeah.
And I think he's easily manipulated, to be honest. Because he only knows this little part of this little world, and this, you get a slick talking New Yorker in there, and he's like, "Hey."
Damn.
All right, so we're here at the Tribal Council. Gonzalez starts talking, and she's like, "You know what? I'm great at puzzles, and I would have done great." And the guy's like, "Well, how would I would have known? I would have never picked you." And then she starts getting up and whispering in people's ears. Now I'm like, "Holy!" I don't think they were going to vote her out before Tribal Council. Do you think that was made, or do you think at Tribal Council she was just like, whoa, and people were just like, we got to get rid of her?
I mean, honestly, I think they had her planned, but she literally talked to every single person except for Donathan.
Poor Donathan.
Okay, Captain Obvious. That's not really fabulous. But it didn't really work out.
Yeah, as we could see, and there was a question on Twitter when she said, when she walked out, she said 7 sheep and 1 lion. She's saying that Brendan is obviously the leader of this pack right now, and if you guys don't do something, basically he's gonna take you all out as the lion. Do you kind of already see Brendan as being the leader of this pack?
I mean, yeah, for the 10 minutes that they're together, yeah. I mean, you never know what's going to happen, so don't get so sucked into that.
Yeah.
I think,
And I love,
everyone always has a leader.
Yep.
whether you mean to be it or not, if you're talking more, people will react and see that that's you, like
Yeah.
that's just the way it is.
I really like Donathan, and I'm glad that he's going to get a chance to develop as a person and as a character that we're going to get to either grow to love or grow to hate. And we'll get to that right here in the next episode. It starts off perfect with Dominic in the middle of the night waking up like, I'm going to just go idol hunting in the middle of the night. Now, I don't know how dark it gets. I can't be that much light out there unless there's the full moon or something. But the man goes out and finds the idol in the middle of the night. Impressive, or you should expect something like that.
Impressive. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty damn impressive, because I mean, if there was a full moon, it can get pretty light out. If not, it's pitch black.
Wow, that's awesome. I love that strategy, and I've always wondered why people didn't do that rather than trying to get up a little earlier. Just get up in the middle of the night, and if somebody comes, it's like, dude, I wasn't feeling well. They're not going to think you're out there searching for the idol. So I love that strategy.
Yeah.
All right. So he's out there, finds the idol from season 26, where Andrea was the first female ever voted out with an idol. So he gets her idol. I love that they actually went back to these contestants and got like these pieces of history, and these are the real ones and not just like remakes.
Exactly. With their signatures on it.
And, I love the history. I love that Survivor embraces its history, and it does it better than any reality show on television. How it really gets the fans what they want year after year after year.
It is amazing. I'm not going to lie. Last year, I think it was just last summer, I was searching high and low to find who bought my torch.
Mm-hmm.
And I found them, and I bought my torch back.
Oh, that's so cool!
I know, I got my torch. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a cool piece to have. Like, I have a couple baskets from I think Kagiyan. I have
nice.
baskets. I have like 2 more of these downstairs and a metal water jug from Kagiyan.
So you were allowed to keep those.
But I won them at an auction from Survivor, at an auction. But from our season, we stole a bunch of stuff.
Did you?
We stole a bunch of clues, and I have a flag from from a country, from Zimbabwe.
Nice.
So we got to steal a bunch of things.
Very cool.
All right, so let's get to Jacob. Jacob's gift to Morgan is Sierra's legacy idol. And Jacob makes his own idol necklace, and nobody's going to think this one is fake because he has a great story, and he's good. He describes himself, I got good deception skills. So do you think his deception skills worked as he goes back and tells everybody a story like, guys, you got to believe this? And then first thing they say is, so where's the paperwork for that? I must have lost it. This has got to be one of the worst fake idol plays.
Come on.
Lies. I mean,
everyone. These are super fans. They've watched every season.
I don't get it.
It's not gonna work. He's watched every season.
Yeah. At least the next one that tries to do the fake idol has real. He had the real idol in his pocket, but showed a fake idol so he can give him.
I would love to talk. What is the point?
So the only way that this plays out in a positive way is if he asks for a fake. Chris says, "Hey, you give me that fake idol, add a tribal." He gives it to him, and then he plays it. That's the only way at all that could work. Otherwise, it just makes no sense, right?
Yeah. He has to give it to him before he votes if he wants him to vote.
Right, and then and then he's going to say he's going to play this fake idol, but I don't think he believes it anyway.
I don't see how that really is going to play out, but I'm up for looking. I'm like, show me how this is going to work, buddy.
Two episodes, 2 fake idols already. So this is going to be interesting to see how people play with these. So Dominic tries to squash the beef. You know, he tries to squash the drama with Chris, and that's when we get him to starts to show the idol. Which I think, you know, if you got a beef with somebody and you already got an enemy, I think it's smart to try to quell it before the next challenge.
Yeah, I like the strategy. So, what did he say? So, you got an idol? No, I don't have an idol. 30 seconds later, look, I have an idol.
Yeah, I if you're gonna do it, you got to go all in. You can't you can't do it half, or they're just not gonna believe you. His strategy just, come on, man. As a New Yorker, you got to know better than that. If
We're
you're gonna pull a
sit
hustle,
down and have a conversation with him. Come on.
if you're gonna pull a hustle, come on, Dom. Come on, man. This
Dom,
Rolex,
talk to us, baby.
this Rolex, it's real, man. It's a real Rolex. You know, it's yours.
What? You don't believe
200, 200. All right, for you right now, $50, $50 right now, but you got to take it right.
It's real, but you know what I'm saying? I can take 50 for it.
50. Listen, you don't ask where I got it. I won't tell you. We usually take 50. We go. All right. So we got the reward. We got the reward challenge. It's another. It's a water task. I always think I would do so great at these water tasks because I used to be a lifeguard.
Me too.
So I'm looking at this like, hey, I think I could do these tasks. But then you watch people, and it's like, wait. It's like going on The Amazing Race. You better know how to drive a stick shift. Going into Survivor, don't you have to know how to damn swim? Well, isn't that like a prerequisite? Isn't that something that the first thing you go and learn how to do? I'm going to swim, I'm going to do puzzles, and I'm going to balance and stuff and work on my social game. Those are like 5 things I'm going to do before I do Survivor. Is it not like a prerequisite?
I mean, you would think that people would do those things, yeah. But I'm not going to lie. I didn't practice any of those things before I went on.
Oh, man. That would be so funny.
So when you went on Amazing Race,
yes, go ahead.
Did you have a whole like pre-workout strategy? This we're gonna do this.
Yep. I had a list of things. I wanted Diana to feel comfortable in a harness because we're always going to do something in a harness on The Amazing Race. So I made sure that we went rock climbing, we went rappelling, because there's always chances for us to do rappelling and rock climbing on The Amazing Race type of things. So I wanted her to feel comfortable in the harness. So it's so funny. I went and I trained with the Phoenix Fire Department, and there happened to be a fire department challenge on The Amazing Race. So I actually was prepared for that and did a great job training for that. The rappelling, that was on the race. We practiced that. We practiced stick shift. I mean, literally, we went through everything. I had a list of.
How long did it take you to get
3 months. 3 months. We got our bodies in shape, got our mind in shape. I rewatched every season again. I mean, I've seen every episode of every season at least 3 times. Some a lot more. So I did a lot of like nerd strategy, and some people have that, and some people go in there and wing it.
Good for you.
Like I think Parvati, that she wouldn't need to do all that because she has her own strategy and she creates strategy. But then there's other people like Cochran who probably have that database in his head.
Oh yeah,
and it makes an advantage.
Yeah.
So I'd play more like Cochran because I'm not as cute as Parvati, so it wouldn't work. All right, so you had the hardest part of this challenge was diving down, getting these buoys, and then everybody had to play basketball and getting these buoys in. So let's get to the buoy drama. We got some Baba Booey drama going on here, and some people thought that you had James who was exhausted and he couldn't dive more than 4 feet. Right? And then you had Donathan, who was just like, I'm not even going to stand in the water and wait. I'm going back to the shore and I'm going to watch. Okay.
Like I was seriously screaming at the top of my lungs at the TV during that segment of the challenge.
Okay, so I get it that he's scared, but they're telling him to go in and he's just like, no. I'm going to be right here.
Like, what? Unacceptable.
I know. And then it's like
the individual game, buddy. You're still on the team. You better get your ass underwater.
All right, so they finally talk him into it, and then he has this like hero moment, and Jeff plays it up like, oh, we got a hero evolving or something like that. And I'm like, hero? I think he just made himself a target. Do you think that made him so much more endearing to his tribe after overcoming his fear? Or do you think that's like, dude, you're a target because you almost made us like you almost gave up on us?
I mean, I honestly think that they were like, good for you. Like, this is
Oh,
fabulous. And it just annoyed me that he took so long because he was capable.
yeah.
And I'm screaming at the TV saying, stop saying you can't and get your ass down there. Damn it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like 8 feet. Take a deep breath and dive straight down. How do people? This
Use
is
your
hard.
feet.
Yeah,
Just like freaking use your toes.
you
Go
see,
straight down.
you see people struggle at this challenge, and you just want to like, stop. Come
But
on,
I
this
don't
is.
understand. James is like a freaking athlete.
Hey, he's jacked. He shouldn't have a problem with just sinking. Muscle sinks. He should just go straight down. It shouldn't be hard at all. All
I
right.
felt bad for him. I don't know. I mean, I feel like he just choked.
Yeah, I think the pressure got to him, and then he finally got talked into it. He got that overwhelming moment, and for him, it was like really this overwhelming "I did it" moment. So good for him, but like as a teammate, I would have been so frustrated and mad at him. But as a viewer, it's like I'm rooting for Jonathan, and I
Right.
wanted him to do well. So good for
Exactly.
Jonathan. You know, Desiree and Wendell are over there, just like woo, just easily dropping shots.
Whoosh.
Everybody's just struggling. We get to Jonathan gets sent to Ghost Island. I thought they were going to go and keep sending Jacob, but I think their strategy worked. If they wanted to get rid of it, there was like, okay, we'll send this and do that. I think it was smart to send Jonathan. What do you think? Does it matter at this point who they send?
No, I mean, I think what they wanted to do, I think they wanted to make sure that they saved possibly a weaker player.
Got you. So they saw him as a weak player and say, you can't get rid of the weak player. You have to get rid of one of the stronger players.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, so Jonathan gets to the Ghost Island. He smashes the urn, and he gets the worst paper in the whole entire game. No game for you, it says. And I
Come
think,
back next time. You got nothing.
And I'm not sure. I think he burnt it.
He did.
So he doesn't have the clue to go back. So if anybody asks, how are you going to believe him? I don't have anything to show you. I'm not going to show you anything. But what I got said that I got nothing. Like,
right.
I feel so bad. I don't think there's a way that he can get around this.
No, because now everyone's thinking, which advantage does he have?
Did you get? Yep. And why doesn't he want to show us? It must be so-and-so's, idol from season 20. Oh, my God. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It's got to be something so great he doesn't want to show us. So I think that's going to be so bad for him. So we go back to camp. James owns his mistakes. He's like, I sucked. I blew that challenge. I love it when somebody owns their mistakes. I think that when you try to cover it up and talk junk, people see right through that. So I love that he did that, but he
wasn't even on the block, though. They didn't put him up.
No, he didn't. But when he came back to camp, he just wanted to make sure that he owned his mistakes. Right. And I think he might have known that he wasn't going to be up on the block because there was some weaker players.
Yeah. But also, he was so upset with himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody had to second guess him because he was torturing himself inside. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad they didn't
jump on him while he was down.
Jump on him like, yeah, you suck.
And now you see somebody actually finally wanting to play with Jacob. So Stephanie goes over and talks to Jacob. Stephanie's cute girl. Jacob, I'm sure, doesn't get a lot of attention from cute girls. And what happens when a cute girl talks to a guy that doesn't get a lot of attention? He just can't stop talking. He gives her every secret, everything he's ever done in the history of these past 3 days. He gave her everything.
In 10 minutes.
Yeah.
She's like, damn, I'm good. I got this.
He's like, finger. He's already wrapped around like this. He's just waiting for somebody to play with. And she immediately runs and tells people the secrets. Yeah. And it's like,
he told me everything. This is what happened. This is what happened. This is what happened. Okay. All right.
Oh my God, I feel so bad. I hope Jacob, I hope this is a great experience for you, man. Could we get to tribal council, and obviously Jacob thinks his game is a lot better than it is. He thinks people might be scared of that fake idol. They're not. Right. They split the vote a little bit, but he still goes home. Yeah. The end, he's embarrassed of his gameplay. He says maybe I didn't play any game at all. So at that point, at least he's a little aware of what happens.
Exactly.
Next week is a switch already. How do you feel about like the third episode having a tribe switch?
Love it.
I
Love it.
I love it.
I love it because, listen, the game is all about never get comfortable.
Yes.
Just when you think you're like, oh my God, I got these, I got the best alliance ever. Boom. Drop your buffs.
Drop your buffs because we're switching stuff up. All right, so
Switch it up, baby.
So what do you think overall? The season's off to a great start. We got some really interesting people. I love some storylines they're already building. We got some people who are hiding in the back that I think could come in later and have some amazing storylines. You think it has that first 2 episodes overall? What do you think?
I love it. So far, so good. I think it's grabbed everyone's attention because you typically don't have 2 people going out on a premiere night.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We typically don't even have a 2-hour full episode. It's usually an hour and a half.
We get that weird.
Yeah. So I think they're going in guns blazing and pulling out 2, potential advantages, on night 1.
It's off to a good start. They came out swinging.
Good start. Yeah.
I think came out swinging, and I love how, like I said, that Survivor embraces its past, and this season more than ever, it's really taking that past and bringing it to the forefront, and letting people know that hey, we've been around for 35, 36 seasons now, and there's a reason that people love us, and we're going to show you why. And they bring back all these legendary moments. So it's so smart, and I love that they do that, and wish that they could bring some of that production to Tar, to the Amazing Race, and embrace their past as well. Their past besides those 3 teams. All right. Mama C, did you have fun? I had a good time.
This is great.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think for the first time working together, we vibed pretty well.
We got this. Well, you sound just like me. I sound just like you. I mean, it feels like home.
I have a bunch of people coming on later this season. I know I've had a couple winners from Survivor coming on that are going to be guesting. So it's going to be me and you are going to be regulars unless you have something busy. But me and you are going to be the hosts. And every week we're going to bring in another eraser. I don't know if another Survivor from the current season. I don't know if they can come on, but I could definitely get a bunch of past racers,
past Survivors.
Past Survivors, it's killing me. I've already got 3 winners who said they would come on, and I got 2 people who are definitely huge fan favorites who I can't wait to talk to. So it's going to be great. If you guys have any ideas on guests you'd like to have on, whether it's producers, whether it's creators, whether it's whoever, sound guys, whatever you want to hear from, let me know in the comments. All of our social media is in the links below. Mama C stuff's down there. Mama C, you got anything you want to promote?
No, I mean, come join us next week. I actually have a wedding, so I won't be on. I think you're getting a surprise guest, but
yes, I will be announcing that. I'm going to confirm this weekend, and I will be announcing that guest. I think I'll come out strong with a Survivor winner, and show you how it's going down. All right,
damn.
Mama C, thank you. It's been a great week.
Thank you.
See you next week.
See ya.
Later.
Bye, guys.